Hello everyone, happy Friday. This is Jennifer Sinceri and I am a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator. It is Friday, November 4th, 2022, and I have a fun technique that I'm going to show you tonight that will use up your scraps of designer series paper. So welcome. I usually come on Friday evenings at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I am a demonstrator in the Elk Grove, California area. So that's close to Sacramento. Hi, Lori. Thank you for hopping on and commenting, letting me know that you're here. I appreciate that. Go ahead and give me a comment. I would love to see that you are here and interact with you. It's always more fun to know who's watching. Let me know where you're from if it's your first time viewing me. And if you're watching the replay here on Facebook or on YouTube, thank you for doing that as well. I always go back and I read all of the comments so that I can answer any questions that you might have. All right, let's get started. I'm just like, oh, thank you for sharing. Yes, if you share this video, that is the best compliment that you can give me. I always appreciate that. Thank you so much. You're sharing the videos and also your orders. That is a wonderful way that you can support me and my business. Oh my goodness, Sharon, happy Friday. I have missed you too, friend. I was wondering where you were and if you were okay. All right. Tonight I'm going to share with you a technique that is very, very popular right now. I've noticed several demonstrators have been using it, and it is called and I just went blank. It's called the twisted ribbon technique, and it's actually very easy. It's a great way to use up scrap paper. And so I'm going to make one card with you tonight. I'm going to finish a second card that I've already started, and then I'm going to show you a third card that is finished. So at the end of the video, you will see 3 cards with different papers. Now, I just want to let you know we do have 2 current catalogs right now. One is our annual catalog. I'm looking around my room, and I don't know that I have one here. Let me look real quick. Oh, yes, I do. It's hiding in a pile. So this is our annual catalog, and this is the thicker catalog, and we have it for a whole year. And then we always have mini catalogs, and there's 2 per year. And right now, the current one is our holiday mini catalog, the July through December catalog. And this catalog is going to, well, it says here, it ends January 4th. All right. So that is the last day that you can order from this catalog. I will warn you, things are going to start selling out. I just saw this week that the Witch Hat Punch is no longer orderable. You can't get it anymore. And we're coming to the end of the life of this catalog. We've got November and December, basically. So 2 months left. If there are things that you absolutely love, you're going to want to get them now, as soon as possible, because things are going to start selling out. The retiring list will be probably posted at the beginning of December. And once that's done, those consumable items are going to sell out. Usually the stamps are through the life of the catalog, but to be honest, towards the end of the life of this catalog, those are even not able to be purchased. It just depends on how much they have in the warehouse at that time. I wanted to show you, we have some beautiful Christmas paper in this catalog. And that's what I'm going to be highlighting tonight, is I'm just really looking at paper. You know that I love paper. I am guilty of hoarding paper, although I am getting better at it. But there are several different holiday themed papers that you can get. We've got the Boughs of Holly, which is poinsettia themed. This set, the Celebrate Everything as a Hostess set of paper, but there are some Christmassy prints in there. The Lights Aglow is very lovely. The Painted Christmas, we had it last year and it came back. It's lovely. The Santa Express, the Storybook Gnomes, and the Sweetest Christmas. What you're going to do is you're going to want to pick paper that coordinates, and you're going to want 4 designs, okay? You're going to want to pick 4 designs for this particular technique. I am going to be pulling sentiments from Hope and Peace. This is in the holiday catalog as well. I've used 3 different embossing folders tonight. One is, and you know what? It's so funny. I don't know all their names by heart. Goodness gracious. I did use the Whimsical Woodland embossing folder on one of the cards, and then the other 2 cards come in a 2-pack, and they're in the annual catalog. The Snowflake and Pine Boughs, they come together down here, Wintry 3D. Okay, so you get 2 folders, and they're smaller ones, so they will fit in the mini cut and emboss machine. You get 2 for $10. I love embossing folders because I feel like it's an easy way to add just another element to our cards. The other thing that I pulled to make this quick was a punch, and I believe this is the Lovely something. It's in the annual catalog as well. We have a page that's all punches. Anybody remember what this one's called? Let's see. Oh, no, that's not it. Aha, Label Me Lovely. Label Me Lovely. It sells for $19. I love this punch. You could also use the decorative circle punch. And there's also a new one in the holiday catalog that would be great for this. So I like this for sentiments. All right, let's get started. So you need a card base. Excuse me, I am losing my voice. You're going to need a card base. I'm going to start with some real red, and I am just burnishing my crease. I like to use my bone folder for that to get that nice crisp fold. Hi, Shelly. Happy Friday to you, friend. And then here is my Mossy Meadow, and you can see that whimsical embossing folder. It's Christmas trees. Okay? And I am going to adhere this down. I'm going to pull my silicone mat so I don't get my placemat sticky. And I'm looking at which side do I want it. I want the textured side. So we're going to put our adhesive on this side. Hi, Julie. Happy Friday. Thanks for hopping on. It is finally starting to feel like fall here. It's actually been quite cold. It actually is starting to feel like winter. I feel like we went from summer straight to winter. I see a little piece right there. Okay. All right, so my mat is 1/4 of an inch smaller than my card base. And then you're going to need 2 pieces of paper. I picked a coordinating color, so the real red, and this is 2 1/4 by 5, and so then this piece is 2 by 4 3/4, 1/4 of an inch smaller. All right, I think my blade needs to be replaced. It's all those Christmas cards I've been making lately. How are you guys doing on your Christmas cards? This is a technique that you can use with any type of card. Like I said, it's a great way to use cat on the table. Great way to use your scraps of paper. Okay, so this is the paper, this piece right here, the white, is what we're going to be gluing those strips of paper on. And what I've done is I've taken it in my my paper trimmer. Goodness gracious, I think I'm tired. I also am fighting a bit of a headache, so bear with me. And what I did was I moved it long ways, and I took it and then I used not my cutting blade, But I am going to do 1-inch intervals. And my mind is totally going blank, you guys. My goodness. What? It's not the cutting blade. What's this one called again? Goodness gracious, I can't remember. I'm not sick, really. I'm just brain dead. I'm in the middle of making report cards. Oh my goodness. How embarrassing. Help me out, guys. Help me out. Thank you. Scoring blade. Oh my gosh. Are you guys laughing? Goodness gracious. I know. You're like, what is wrong with her tonight? Just, you ever have those where your brain goes completely blank? It happens to me whenever I know people are watching me. Okay, so I have a bunch of scraps here, and you're going to want 4 different colors or designs. All right, so this is that poinsettia paper. And you know what? I cut several because I'm going to make multiple cards with these. You're not going to need this much. Okay, I'm just sorting it by pattern right now. Now I have 3 patterns, but what I'm going to do, so I'm actually going to use the back side. Yeah, it's been a rough week at the races. Thank you, Shelly. It's report card season right now. So we've been trying to get all of those assessments done with the kids and getting report card grades finalized. So I have been super busy and I'm tired. So I am going to pull this one and I am using it on the back side. There's some light polka dots. All right. And then I've got this one and then this one. So I've got 4 here. And just excuse me for one moment because I think my teenager just rang the doorbell. So hold on. That's okay. All right, I'm back. So now what we're going to do is you have those 1-inch score lines right here. I'm going to bend it just a little bit so you can see it. Okay, do you see those lines? What we're going to do is we're going to use those score lines as a guide to where I'm going to adhere these strips, okay? Now, I feel like it's better to put the lighter colors down first and then put the brighter colors on the top. Okay? You guys are so awesome. Thank you for being so understanding and putting up with my brain fog. Thank you. Okay, so this is lighter. It's got white in the background. So I'm going to use some of those. And then I have 2 reds. So I think I'll go with a red. Okay? So let's start. And you will just use whatever favorite adhesive you like to work with. I'm going to move it this way so I can see that score line. And I am going to just put my paper, have it hit that score line. All right? So see how it's right there? I don't want to go past the score line. And that's it. That's as easy as we get. And then I'm going to pick the next design. I'm going to go with those very faint polka dots. And I'm going to go above the next score line. All right? So there we go. There it is. And then we'll go back to the other paper. You're not going to need to put adhesive on all the way because we're going to end up trimming. Thank you, thank you. And then we're going to just put it right at that score line. There we go. And then repeat it again, right above the score line. And I'm eyeballing to make sure that this looks even. not too slanted. Another one to go with the bottom, okay? Now this one, I don't have a score line. I just have the end of the paper. So we're just going to eyeball that width, that piece of the space of the white. And there we go, okay? Now we're going to go the other direction. So I'm going to push these aside. I'm done with those. We'll use those on another card. And I'm going to be using these two designs. So let's start maybe with the red poinsettias, okay? Now, I am going to imagine where that score line is right here, this part right here, and I'm going to put my paper right on top of that and cover that corner right there. And then we'll go with the next one. I would love to hear in the comments what your favorite Christmas paper is right now in the mini catalog. All right, now the next one. Here's my end of my score line right here. I'm just going to put it right on top. Ta-da! All right, and so I just did that one. So we're going to do this one. Here's that score line. Okay, so just put it right on top where it would end. Have you guys tried this yet? It's very, very popular right now. I always like a type of card that uses up scrap paper. I tend to have lots of scrap paper because I hate throwing it away. But then I get overwhelmed with the amount of scrap paper. And let's be honest, do you always go back and use your scrap paper? I do sometimes. So I've been more selective about the pieces of scrap paper that I keep. It's got to be big enough for me to really use. I do love the candy cane paper. Yes. Candy cane lane, I believe. Now I could remember that one. I love that you can cut the candy canes out. All right, and then this one, this is that end. So we're going to just cover up the corner. And I want the piece to land where the score line is here. Use those score lines to help you. So the dimensions of these strips, really you can use any width you want, but I want small strips so that I can repeat the pattern. So these are 1/2 inch wide and they are 3 inches long. Okay. 1/2 inch wide, 3 inches long. And on this particular card, this was, I can't remember. It was 2 inches wide and it is 5 inches long. All right. There's several cards that if you Google twisted ribbon technique, you'll see a couple different styles of how people have done this card. I love paper layers. I really feel like layers snazz up your cards. So I've added a few layers to my card. All right, now what you're going to do is you're going to need your paper snips. You're going to turn this piece over and you are going to cut all the extra piece off, okay? So we're going to do that. You can use your paper trimmer if you want. I don't want to gum up my paper trimmer blade. I can just wash my paper snips easier. So I'm just using the end of the paper as my guide. Okay. Oops. Let's see, what would be my favorite designer series paper, Christmas themed paper? oh goodness, probably, come here, Yulu, little piece. Probably the candy canes or the gnomes. Now, like I said, I am not a fan of the gnomes. I like the other side of the gnomes, the back side. But I like the blues, wintry blues with the snowflakes. So I do like those. And I also like the animals that are on that paper. I like the woodland animals. All right, so let me just make sure I've got all of that right up against the paper. Okay, pretty good, I think. I'm going to throw those scraps away so they don't land on the carpet. I always keep a wastebasket right next to my craft table. Okay, isn't that beautiful? Look at that. And now it looks like you took the paper and that you twisted it. It's that overlapping. So see how the green is this way and then a different design of green. And then the green and then the flip side of the green. And it's actually not the same piece of paper, but I kept the colors going in that same zigzag direction. Okay. And they meet up. They meet up at each part. All right. So now let's move these guys. I've got lots of extra strips to make a few more cards. I think I'm going to, on stage, and I think I'm going to make some of these cards up for my swaps. I might do that because I got a bunch of scraps to use, and it really doesn't matter. They can be all different papers. I don't have to use the same paper. All right, so there's that. And then we're going to tear this piece. And there's no top or bottom to this, so it doesn't matter. You can flip it around and it'll work the other way too. All right, so that was really easy, wasn't it? And look at how striking that is. I'm super excited about this. I love it. I just feel like it looks harder than it really is. It really isn't hard. So you get to impress people. All right, so I have a white and a red using that punch that I showed you, and we're going to stamp a sentiment. I'm going to pull my Mossy Meadow ink, and I picked Tidings of Comfort and Joy. All right, so this is rubber, so just be careful. You don't need to press too hard, otherwise you will get lines from the stamp. There we go. Thanks, Lori. I'm glad you like it. Now, I have a trick. So I punched this same piece in red, and what I'm going to do is, that's the top. So I want to make sure I'm doing this right. This is the top. I'm going to turn it. I'm going to split this in half. Like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some adhesive here. Oh, look at that. Cat hair. Or no, that's paper. Little shaving of paper. Where's my U-pick tool? From my snips. There we go. All right. And we are going to line that up. But I want to make sure that it's right up against the white. There we go. Okay, we'll do it the same here. And now it looks like it's been matted. Okay, little trick. And now we need some Stampin' Dimensionals. So let's grab a few of those. Okay, and I'm just putting them in the middle because this is raised a little bit right here. So I'm going to put them in the middle because this is just going to go right up against it. Yes, you cover a little bit, but you still see the majority of your pattern. And then from that same family of paper, you could leave it like this. You could put a couple embellishments on it, call it good. But what I ended up doing was I fussy cut some of the poinsettias from that. And we can add that somehow to our card. Maybe I should pick a smaller poinsettia because that's pretty big. Let me look at the poinsettias. I guess I should have held it up to see if I wanted it to be that big. There's one or there's the two. Let's see what the one looks like. I love designer series paper that I can cut shapes out. Flowers or critters. I love that because sometimes you don't have a stamp set that coordinates with your paper, and that's okay. Sometimes you do. Or sometimes you've used up certain things when you bought a suite, right? So if I love it, I usually buy the whole suite because then I can enjoy it and I can use the dies or the punch, but you don't have to. You can still fussy cut depending on what your comfort is. But let's say you didn't buy the punch. Maybe you were trying to save money. We've all done that, right? We've said, okay, I'm not going to buy all the pieces. I need to put my money somewhere else. So with paper, you don't have to buy the punch and the dies. You could just fussy cut the pieces out and it's perfectly fine. And maybe you don't want to spend the money on a stamp set. Maybe you're just going to use the designer series paper as your images. And that's what's so lovely about this paper is that you've got some flowers that you can use as your focal point if you didn't purchase the stamp set. A pack of paper can go a long way. And if it's a specialty paper, it's maybe $15. Otherwise, they're like 11 something. Okay, that takes up less space. So maybe we'll go with that one versus this one. I like the look of that one, but this one takes up a little less space. So I think we'll go maybe there. And I'm going to pop that with some dimensionals. All right. And it looks like this piece is almost out. So we'll just trim up our scraps and use those. All right. Okay. And of course we need a little bling. So what if I pulled these red and green adhesive back pearls? I think these are on back order right now. I'm going to need to get some more. So the green to me looks more like a mint, but there's red, there's gold, and there's silver. The red, there's so much red on this card, so let's go with some gold. You could use them in the middle of your poinsettia. And you know what? Because they're so tiny, I think I'll do a cluster of 3 there. like that. All right. And then if you wanted to add a few more, you could do that. We could maybe put one here, and then let's put maybe one down here. Yeah, let's go there. All right, let me hold it up so you guys can see. I love it. Very, very easy. And a great way to use up those scraps so you're not wasting it. And then look how gorgeous this is. It looks more complicated than it really was. All right, now I've started another card to save time. And then we'll just add the embellishment. So this one is the pine boughs that I showed you. And this is a different pack of paper, same design, same layout. And I'm just going to embellish this one. What I ended up doing was I cut out some of the foliage from one of the pieces of paper. All right, and I have a bow. So let's add here our bow. This is that really fun, real red ruffled ribbon. What's it called? Mini ruffled ribbon. I love the texture on this ribbon. All right, and then let's put some greenery there. Let me get my silicone. Oop, I got scraps of paper. So, you know, if you invest in a really good sentiment stamp set, there's so much you can do. Get one really good sentiment stamp set that you love, and you can use that with so many different things. I think I'm going crazy with my leaves. I don't know that I like that. Maybe let's take this one off. And this paper is, I can look it up for you. It was the returning favorite. We had this last year. I'll tell you all the names of the paper in just a minute. I gotta solve my embellishment problem here. The stamp set that the sentiments came from was Hope and Peace. It's next to the Nativity stamp set. What did I just do? I think I ripped that. Here we go. All right, I'll show you guys everything. There we go. And should I put maybe a few of these on there? Let's do maybe a couple of red ones to kind of complement the berries. Although I kind of feel like they get hidden. I'll put one right there. I like to do triangles with my embellishments. Okay. This paper is it the Painted Christmas. It's very woodsy. It has, excuse me, pine cones and berries and lots of evergreen. Okay. It's on page 29. We had it last year and then they brought it back. So this paper down here. All right. I like this paper. There's a lot that I've done with it. And then the other one that I used on the first card is called the Boughs of Holly paper. And that has the poinsettias. And that's on page 25. This one. Okay. And you can see here they cut out those poinsettias. All right. And then I have one more card. Totally different color scheme. And I use the gnome paper. So I picked pages that didn't have gnomes on them. So I picked the back side. And so it's snowflakes. And I used one of the wonderful snowflake die cuts. You get a pack of 24. I love these. They're a little bit opalescent. And then the rhinestones that go with it. The iridescent rhinestones. You could cut out a gnome from the paper and add that to it. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the gnomes, but you could do that. I'll show you. You could take one of these guys. Okay, we'll take this one. Or no, we'll do this one because of the blue. Okay. Let me trim this real quick. I'm not going to glue it down, but I'll show it to you. I guess he could pass for an elf maybe too. Although I don't think he really goes with the sentiment on my card. But you could change your sentiment. So you could add that to your card. Like that. So really the only stamp I used was my sentiment stamp. And I just cut images out of my paper. Okay, and this was the stamp set. So you have God's blessings to you, wishing you the hope and peace of Christ this season. Emmanuel, God with us, the weary world rejoices. May knowing Christ bring you peace for today, hope for tomorrow, and joy in every season. Peace on earth, goodwill to all, with love and hope. Merry Christmas, and then tidings of comfort and joy, which is what I put on mine. So those are my cards. I hope you're going to try this technique out. It's really, really easy. Just cut out strips of paper. Some people have done inch width, but I think the smaller width, the 1/2 inch, works better. And you really get to see the repeated look, the repeated patterns on your cards better. And it looks like you twisted it, which is what it's called, the twisted ribbon technique. Okay. All right. I hope you enjoyed this. How many of you are going to try this? I hope you give it a try. If you do not already follow me on Facebook, you want to go ahead and click that follow button. You can also follow me on YouTube. I'm hoping to build my YouTube followers. I'm almost at 1,000 followers on YouTube. Once I get 1,000, then I can go live on YouTube. And I don't have to just upload my video. So that'll be fun. I'm almost there. And if you share this video, that helps grow my business as well. That helps other people find me, and then I can hopefully get more followers on Facebook as well. I know the blue is refreshing, and it can just be winter as well. It does not have to be a Christmas card. the blues snowflakes can be for January as well. And I like to do that. I like to send out New Year's cards as well. And not necessarily so close to New Year's Day. I send them out a little bit later because, you know, your Christmas cards have arrived, unless you get your Christmas cards out super early. But I love snowflakes during January. Mittens, snowflakes, snowmen. So they're not just for Christmas. I'm so glad you liked it, Peggy. All right. Sharon says she's not a gnome person either, but she likes the blue one. I know, right? The back sides of the paper are actually very, very pretty. Definitely. All right, guys, I am going to let you go. I have got to finalize for my class tomorrow. I am hosting a face-to-face class. We're going to be making Thanksgiving cards and Christmas cards. And having lots of fun. So have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Thank you for your likes and your hearts on the video. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for joining me and spending some of your Friday evening with me. I appreciate it. All right, guys, I will see you soon. Have a great weekend. Have a great week ahead of you. Bye-bye.